Perhaps the most annoying thing about living in the picturesque and historic municipality of York, UK, is its sporadic invasion by Vikings. Just as Goths flock to Whitby Bay, mods to Brighton Beach, and flies to fetid turds, so too do faux Nordic wannabes converge on our fair city. For 1 week every year, seemingly normal and sober individuals, bankers, sales assistants, plumbers, kitchen fitters and the like, all don ancient Viking garb and head on over to York. Here, to celebrate the fact that battle-hardy Scandinavians raped, ransacked and pillaged their way across the country, a festival is held in their honour. And so it was just the other week, slap bang in the middle of this annual Nordic gala, I rounded a corner to be confronted by a rotund behemoth with a big blonde beard, helmet and patterned circular shield. He strolled past the shop fronts of Ladbrokes and Argos as if it were the most natural thing on earth to be dressed in the archaic regalia of a 9th century seafaring shag nasty, which of course it isn't. Now many of you may take umbrage with this particular gripe. You might be thinking, calm down AB, chill. How could you possibly be offended by a harmless pastime, a living history that celebrates our heritage and educates children in the ill-informed of old customs and times gone by? Well, I'll tell you for why. First of all, I have a problem with all this living history malarkey. Over the centuries that have elapsed since the invaders washed up on Blighty's shores, our attitude to them has softened somewhat. When these fierce warriors first moored their longships to our coastlines and marauded through our townships, raping, ransacking and pillaging all in their path until their appetites were sated, it is safe to assume that the English populace of the time were far from enamoured by the Norsemen. Fast forward some 1,145 years and we virtually hero worship them. They are sympathetically portrayed in movies, comic books and children's stories. The annual festival in York is a celebratory affair, lauding their technological achievements and cultural impact. Now, I'm not denying for a moment that they had a great impact on us culturally, or that they were gifted tradesmen and builders. My point is that they were invaders, and rather brutal ones at that. We don't treat other such invaders with the same reverence. You don't see people in Warsaw goose-stepping about in Nazi uniforms in the name of living history, and we've been apologising for the atrocities inflicted on indigenous peoples in the name of the British Empire for years. But the Vikings, well, they're all right, aren't they? They're cool with their big beards and their longships. Don't go knocking the Vikings. But my biggest bugbear by far is this issue about it all being a harmless pastime. Now, I happen to be of the opinion that a group of middle-aged fantasists carrying battle axes and screaming visceral war cries are far from harmless. In fact, I think they should be put on some sort of register. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against prepubescents dressing up and acting out imaginary battles with plastic swords and toy guns, but when you're 46, your name's Norman, and you're office manager for a reputable retail chain, alarm bells should start to ring. If you like Valhalla so much, Norman, why don't you go and live there?